Unit 4, Decimal. Introduction. The word decimal means based on 10 from Latin word. They are fraction numbers. A decimal number consists of a number having decimal point dot in it. Example: the number 45 and 6/10 written as a decimal number. The decimal point goes between ones and tenths. 45.6 has 4 tenths, 5 ones and 6 tenths, like. It is all about placing value. The position or place of each digit is important. For example, in number 327, the 7 is in the ones position, which means 7 ones, the 2 is in the tens position, which means 2 tens or 20, and the 3 is in the hundreds position, which means 3 hundreds. As we move to the left, each position is 10 times bigger, and as we move to the right, each position is 10 times smaller. Tens are 10 times bigger than ones. Hundreds are 10 times bigger than tens. Add and subtract of decimal. Addition of decimal numbers. Write down the numbers, one under another, with the decimal points lined up. Put in zeros so the numbers have the same length so that it remains easy for addition. Then add column addition, remembering to put decimal point in the answer. Like and unlike decimal numbers. Decimals having the same number of decimal places are called like decimals. Decimals having the same number of digits on the right of the decimal point are known as like decimals. Whereas, decimals not having the same number of digits on the right of the decimal point are unlike decimals. Multiplication of decimal numbers by 10, 100 and 1000. Multiplication by number 10 shifts decimal point 1 place towards right. Similarly, multiplication by number 100 and 1000 shifts decimal point 2 and 3 places simultaneously towards right. Division of decimal numbers by 10, 100 and 1000. Division by number 10 shifts decimal point 1 place towards left. Similarly, division by number 100 and 1000 shifts decimal point 2 and 3 places simultaneously towards left. Multiply a decimal number by a whole number. Multiplying a decimal by a whole number is the same as multiplying two whole numbers. Remember, if there is one digit after the decimal point in the question, there will be one digit after the decimal point in the answer. Divide a decimal number by a whole number. Dividing with decimals works exactly like regular long division with just one difference of adding decimal point in between. Multiplication of decimal with tenth and hundred only. Let us see an example. Multiplication of decimal by decimal. Multiplication of two decimal numbers is same as multiplication of whole numbers. Division of a decimal by a decimal, by converting decimal to fractions. This is similar to division by whole numbers. Use of division to change fractions into decimal. Let us consider an example. Simplify decimal expression involving bracket. Simplification in decimals can be done with the help of PEMDAS rule. Round off decimal up to specified numbers of decimal places. Rounding means making a number simpler but keeping its value close to what it was. The result is less accurate but easier to use. There are several different methods for rounding, but here we only look at the common method, the one used by most people. Rounding off decimals. First, work out which number will be left when we finish. Rounding to tenths means to leave one number after the decimal point. Rounding to hundredths means to leave two numbers after the decimal point, etc. Converting fractions to decimal and vice versa. Every fraction can also be written as a decimal, and vice versa. You may not do this very often, but converting decimals and fractions can help you in math. Rule to convert decimal to fraction. To convert a decimal to a fraction, follow these steps. Step 1. Write down the decimal divided by 1, like this, decimal by 1. Step 2. Multiply both top and bottom by 10 for every number after the decimal point. For example, if there are 2 numbers after the decimal point, then use 100. If there are 3, then use 1000, etc. Step 3. Simplify, or reduce, the fraction. Solving real-life problems involving decimals. Let us consider an example.